Okay, welcome back. So we have week 6 today, and we are actually going to do a tonification exercise today. Perfect timing. We're still in that Lionsgate portal, but we're going to begin with our clearing exercise. So let's work the body, do the wrist, other direction, elbows, other direction, shoulders, other direction. Okay, let's bring the towel. Excuse me. Okay, let's give a big hug. Couple more. Okay, good. Widen your stance, and let's do our swings. And shoulder. Good. Let's go ahead and stretch the spine. Just hang, take some deep breaths. Tuck the pelvis under, press the heels on the ground, roll the spine up. All the blood go to the top of the brain. And now you've got a new brain. Great. Okay, so we're gonna do the, let me just make a slight adjustment here. So we're gonna do the pulling down the heavens here. Clearing, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, clearing through the center, down to the center of the earth. Very slow. Two more. Okay. Good. Sorry, it just Right. Yeah. Funny about that camera sometimes. Alright, so you do dry crying. Lean back and again. And again. And we're breathing into the lower perineum one more. And letting everything go into the earth. Okay, good. Got the trembling horse. Before we do that, let's go ahead and do the channel dredging. Reach down. One more. Digging through the channel, grabbing the ink on clear. Crossing the diaphragm, clearing through the channels. Throw it into the earth. Through the gallbladder channels, down the back of the neck. Throat, the chest, the sides. And into the center of the earth. Good. Alright, trembling horse. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrist. One more. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrist. Good. Nice tired horse. Okay. Post dropping. So we bounce, 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 and then one big bounce. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more for good luck. See the spine vibrate and ripple up and down. Boom, like a tuning fork. Good. Okay. So we think. Oh, we got our cheese scattering. We did last week, right? Yeah. Okay. So uh, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. Continue. Into the center of the earth. Filling and releasing. Filling and releasing. Filling and releasing. Filling and releasing. Good. Okay. So the exercise that we're going to talk about today. In fact, first, let's just stop and take a sip of water. All right. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. It's really hot outside. Landscape portal. And we're right on the tail end of the hottest time of the year. We're getting ready to actually transition into the fall. So things are getting ready to roll inward. We're going to be sort of settling down with all of our goals and ambitions for the year. We're going to be just like going into what we're already doing and doing that. But the fall and the winter time should be more of a slow down time where we start to ease off of the production and really like take care of ourselves and our body. And the winter time is a time of like this retreat where you settle in and decide how you want to go forth in your next year, you know? It's an understanding of like your goals that you want to accomplish going forward for the next year. And it's a time to reflect. See, the fall, you start to reflect on the year, and then the winter time, you really reflect a lot deeper. In the fall, you start to let go of certain things that aren't going to be fitting in your life anymore. So it's a process of letting go of things. And the winter time is really going deep into the deepest part of yourself and seeing all of the things that you've done, what you liked, what you didn't like, and then deciding where you want to go for the next year and what you want to grow into, what you want to evolve into, what you want your family to look like, what you want your life to look like, how you want to move forward. That's what you do in the winter time. In the fall, though, you start to take account and realize, like, okay, I've been doing all of this, and I didn't like some of these things. I'll let them drop off. Or these things are serving me, and this is my main focus into the rest of the year. And I will allow this to fade off. Yeah. And so it's this understanding of like, knowing and observing what's going on in your life and then how you're going to move forward while letting go of things. So the thing about letting go, I'm giving you an example of letting go of, you know, let's say you go to the gym 3 times a week and you decide, well, let's make it a little bit. Let's say you go 6 times a week and you decide like that's a lot and, 4 times is enough. So you let go of 2 times. But you don't just let go of like something in the world. We also let go of like feelings. Maybe something came up in our life that hurt our feelings, and we had this grief and this sadness about it and we held on to it. Well, the fall is also a time of learning to let go of those things that were ailing you and holding you back, because when we hold on to these feelings, these bad feelings, it just consumes our energy, which is why we do these clearing exercises so that we can learn to let go and we can be more vibrant and we can change, evolve, and grow. We're all here to learn lessons and to evolve and grow. Um, and sometimes they're big lessons and sometimes they're small lessons. Sometimes they're, hey, this approach works better for this person. Sometimes they're big lessons of like, well, my mother and my father did this and their mother and father did this. And I don't like these things and I don't want to keep doing them in my life. I want to be a different person. I want to be a better person. So there are different things that, we go through and we grow through. Yeah. So um, in the fall, also with that, like letting go of things, maybe there are life habits that you have, patterns. Maybe it's ways that you interact in your relationship, and these are things that they're things that you want to let go of. Maybe you get upset and you call names, or you get upset and you uh, just stop speaking. You don't talk to people. You just like never talk to them again. Like there are things that come up that we have to learn to let go of in order to grow. It's part of the process. And so the fall is really a good time that you start making these reflections and you start deciding like what behaviors and what things in your life that you need to let go of, so that when the winter time comes, you're doing the essential parts of your life, and you can really nourish yourself and your family and your relationships and your job and all these things, and you can really go into the deepest parts of yourself to um, really nourish that and get ready to change in the spring. Yeah. So when we have this course here, we have first the letting go exercises and then the exercises that tonify, and then we figure out a way to balance them, right? Just like sometimes habits and routines in life, right? So you might be someone that works out and you might work out 7 days a week. You might do this for 3 years. And that's a pretty extreme for a lot of people, but some people, that's their life, they live it. But then after that 3 years, you might not work out for a year, or you might just skim down to 4 days a week, and you decide that that's the place that the working out has in your life. It's a 4 days a week is a good balance for you. You did the 7, you achieved the goals, you got it as ripped as you wanted to get, your muscles got as big, you got all the like confidence and all this things that you'll get from it, and then you decide that 4 days is enough for you to maintain and still get all the things that you're looking to get out of that. So there, you end up coming to a point of a regulation, right? After you build. So typically, if you're going to start working out, you might go twice a week or 3 times a week, and then you get into it and you love it and it becomes your life and it consumes you, and then you would go into 7 days a week, and then you'll drop back down over some time, maybe to 3 days a week. Or some people even let it go and go into another part of their life. They go into doing yoga and they go into becoming soft, right? And one's not right or wrong. It's just a choice of your path and where you're going and the path that you're on. And a part of that time of the reflection of letting things go is to make space for the new. And then, you're getting that clarity when you go deep in the wintertime. So just like we have changes in the seasons, we have changes in the Qigong exercises so that we can have a complete Qigong class. Okay. So the next exercise that we're going to do is the deep dive. So we're going to take a nice wide stance, okay? Wider than our shoulder width apart. And we're going to reach our hands forward as if we're picking up a quarter in front of us, about 2 feet in front of us, okay? So let me make a slight adjustment for you to see something here. All right, maybe a little more. Okay, so you reach down as if you're picking something up. Now, when you reach down, when you stretch the spine, you tuck your head and you let your spine stretch. But when you do the deep dive, you keep your head up and you reach down, but you squat down. You grab the chi and then you bring it up and then settle it down. And then you reach here, gather it, and then reach. Gather it, reach, gather it, and then settle. Now you can see my abdomen is expanded. You can see it's filled with chi. So the trick to this is that you want to tuck your pelvis under, just like when we have our rules for standing. And you want to reach down while trying to maintain your structure. Once you reach over, you're going to squat down and like you're picking up like a big ball out of the, like a beach ball, like a big beach ball, right? Out of the water. And then you bring it up and you let everything settle down and you compact it so you can grab some more. And then I grab more. And I grab more. Every time. I grab more and more. And I let everything settle and drop into the abdomen. And then the abdomen fills and you feel this fullness of chi. All right, sorry guys. I want you to have a good view here. So it's reach, down, and then scoop. Reach down, scoop. Reach down, scoop. Reach down. Now there's a squatting that comes along because I'm trying to keep my pelvis under so that I can fill my legs and all of my spine and my lower dantian with more chi. Reach down, scoop. So I'm trying to maintain my structure while still squatting down and gathering the energy. Each time I fill with more and more energy. Inhaling, breathing deeper. Picking up the beach ball. And I settle. So it will be a little bit of a workout probably for your legs the first time. That's something you need to know. That it's going to work your legs a little bit and your abdomen's going to fill. It's going to fill with chi. Reach down, scoop the beach ball. The thing is, you're reaching down, you're scooping. When you come up to the top, you're letting all the chi settle and pour through the body to settle on the bottom of the feet, so that each time you're getting more and more and more chi. You're creating space so that more chi can pack into the legs. into the abdomen and just sink deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, so you're reaching and filling, reaching and filling, letting it settle, reach and fill. Trying to maintain your structure, keeping your pelvis tucked under, squatting down. And soaring in the lower dantian. Let's take a quick minute and take another sip of water. So when you do this, there's a little bit of a trick to it. You want to undulate the spine, right, like a wave. So your pelvis tucks under, but you reach your spine down. That's why you're reaching over. And then when you start to, once you crouch down as much as you can go and you start to scoop up, you want to sink the bottom half further and ripple the spine up and then let everything settle down. And what this is going to do is, first off, it's amazing for your spine. And by the way, I need to tell you that one of the most important things that you can do for your health is to have a healthy spine. Regulate your spine. You move the synovial fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. You need to move the CSF through your spine. You want it to go up and down, because what happens is then it nourishes the nerves and the nervous system. And of course, that's connected to the muscles and the tendons and the bones, and you nourish everything through the spine. And the spine is connected to the brain. So you when this fluid that's there gets cold and stiff, your spine's tight and your brain doesn't work as well, and you have a lot of bad thoughts and you don't think clearly, you need to regulate the cerebrospinal fluid and get it to move up and down, pump it up and down. When I was younger, and I didn't know this at the time, I started doing kung fu. It was a white crane kung fu, and I would drive an hour and a half to go see the teacher, and it was on Saturdays. And at the end of Saturday class, or some point during the middle at least, he would make us roll up on our shoulders, and our head would be tucked, and we'd put our feet in the air like this, okay? And if you could do it, right, and the first time, like maybe a minute, everything's shaking, I can't do it. But after some time you build up, you get up to 3 minutes. He would make us, for 3 minutes, our feet would go above our head. And the whole point behind that is you let all the blood from the feet drain all the way down the spine and get into the brain. And then you relax and you come up and you sit up for a second, and then you let all the blood that went up to your head travel back down to your feet, so that you are cleaning the brain out and moving your blood and moving, because everything's going to drain. The cerebrospinal fluid's also going to drain down into the brain and then drain back the other way and come down. So it was really good, actually. It was very mind-opening, if you will, right? But the thing is that you figure out ways to do the same thing that aren't as physical, because sometimes people have physical limitations, right? And you don't have to move as much, actually, to move the fluid and stuff like that. Let me take that back. You don't have to, how to say this clearly, you don't have to lean back on your shoulder, because some people don't have the strength in their neck and in their shoulders and their core muscles. So you can do an exercise like what I'm doing here, which is a softer way of doing it, because Qigong is often softer. It's a softer way of getting the same effect. And instead of one big letting everything sit and then come back up, and then you get a continual motion, right? So you get much more movement through the spine itself. That's one added benefit, is you get movement through the spine. But you get this wave of the cerebrospinal fluid going up and down. And as well, your blood's going to do the same thing every time you lean over and stand back up, lean over and stand back up, lean over and stand back up. So this is a very effective way to regulate the health of the spine and the brain. Okay. So let's go ahead and do 10 of these, and we're going to do them very slow. So you want to take a nice wide stance, wider than your shoulder width, okay? Because you want a solid base and a solid foundation, so you're not wobbling and falling over, okay? It's also going to work the legs really good as well, okay? But you can, if you have an issue with your leg strength, or, if there's some issue, you can go down less. You go down as low as you can, okay? And you do as much as you can. The goal is to try to stay relaxed during this, because the whole purpose is, the intention behind it is to move the spine and then scoop the chi and bring it up and gather the chi, which requires your relaxation, okay? So here we go. 1, scoop, and again, scoop, tuck the pelvis under, roll the spine up, and scoop, and scoop, and scoop, tuck the pelvis under, turn the chi up, over the head, letting it settle down. Scoop, one more, scoop. Actually, let's go ahead and do 2 more. Scoop, tucking the pelvis under, rolling the spine up, reach, tuck the pelvis under, scooping, rolling the spine up, and bring everything down to the lower dantian. Oh, lovely. So this is the deep dive. And this is the first tonification exercise that we're going to learn. It's one of my favorites. Again, I can't tell you enough how important I believe that spinal health is for your actual health. So that's why I chose this one for the first one. Also, it's the summertime, and it's hot, and people's nerves and their system are really tight right now, typically. So this will relax the nervous system, let everything flow. This will move the cerebrospinal fluid and give the mind a breather. Yeah, and give a chance to cool off. Okay. So that's the deep dive. Let's go ahead and do standing. So we tuck the chin, suspend the crown, sink the shoulders, relax the chest, sink the scapula, relax the waist, let the elbows hang heavy, tuck the pelvis under, Sinking everything down to the bottom of the feet, standing tall, raising the hands in front of the heart center. Begin to breathe into the lower dantian. Deep breaths into the lower dantian. Relaxing the structure. Sinking deeper. Okay, tuck the chin, suspend the crown, sink the shoulders. Make heavy the elbows, relax the chest. Sink the scapula around the back. Let the chi sink to the abdomen. Tuck the pelvis, relax the waist. Letting everything settle in the bottom of the feet. Teeth together, tongue and over the mouth, and eyes closed. Reaching through the fingertips, opening the palm. Okay. Relax the forehead, the eyebrows, the cheeks, the jaw, front of the throat, the chest, inside of the arms, down to the palms, center of the chest, the abdomen, front of the thighs, the knees, the shins, tops of the feet, down to the center of the earth. Check the structure. And melting down the back of the head, the back of the neck, the upper back, the outsides of the arms, down to the fingertips, the middle back, the lower back, the buttocks, back of the thighs, back of the knees, back of the calves, back of the heels, the bottom of the feet, down to the center of the foot, to the center of the earth. Now check the structure. And melting through the top of the head, center of the head, the throat, the chest, the arms, down to the fingers, to the tips of the fingers, center of the chest, through the abdomen, the pelvis, the femur, through the knee, tibia and the fibula, the ankle, all the bones in the center of the feet, all to the tips of the toes, through the center of the foot and down into the earth. Breathe into the shoulder joint, expanding the shoulder joint. With every breath, there's an expansion and a contraction. Allow that to fold into the elbows. Expansion and contraction in every breath. Into the wrist, into the palms, to the hips. To the knees, the ankles, all the bones in the feet, through the center of the earth. Check the structure. And through the spine, from the top of the head, vertebra by vertebra, to the thoracic vertebra, to the lumbar vertebra, and back up to the top. Checking the structure. Relaxing, sinking deeper into the bottom of the feet, sinking deeper into the center of the earth. As you breathe into the abdomen, feel the entirety of the body expand and contract. Feel the joints pulse. As the spine stretches. Feel every cell in the body breathe. Expanding and contracting. As you breathe deeper, more relaxed. Breathing into the center of the mind. The center of the heart. And the center of the abdomen. Relaxing any tension in your body, relaxing your nerves, relaxing the fascia, relaxing the bones, letting them stack one on top of the other, relaxing the muscles, relaxing the diaphragm, relaxing the mind. Letting everything hang heavy so the chi can release. And very slowly start to come down. 3, pulling down the heavens. Inhale. Exhale through the center. Wrapping around the lower dantian and sealing. And inhale. Exhale through the taiji pole. Into the lower dantian. Wrapping around twice and sealing. One more. Through the taiji pole. Into the lower dantian. Wrapping around and sealing. Let's go ahead and grab a sip of water. Another sip here. So we are effectively in the most heightened, energetic time of the year, the Lionsgate portal. So you should feel calm, but if you also feel like you have a lot of energy, that's normal right now. There's a lot of energy. The days are the longest, the heat's the hottest. It's a very energetic time of the year. So it's also very hot, and the heat is a source of energy. Now, you're going to want to hydrate water, coconut water. We kind of talked about that. But also, now's a really good time to talk to friends, catch up, never communicate with your friends, and share heart-to-heart moments. We're in the element of the heart. The summer is a correlation to the heart element. And this is where we have to clean our heart out a bit. You know, sometimes there are things that we need to process and let go of in the heart. And if everything's clear, great, then you'll be radiant and loving and happy, and you can share this radiant, loving, happy joy with everybody around you. Qigong does give you energy, and today is probably the first taste doing the deep dive of starting to get this energy and really noticing that the exercises beforehand have been clearing and all about releasing. We've emptied the cup out, so now we're starting to put the fresh, clean water in there. Good stuff, yeah. You know, maybe sometimes we slip a little coconut water in there, right? But, you know, we're energizing now. So you'll start to notice this. So that means that you will have more energy. That's why I say by doing these exercises, you should be, you know, everything cleared out. Or a good chunk of it is cleared out. That's the whole point of doing this. And then now you're energizing, so you have more energy to go out and do. So know that it's a normal thing that things do pop up. Thoughts, emotions, feelings of things that, you know, we needed to let go, that we're letting go of. And the more we do this into the fall, it'll really become apparent as we get deeper, the energy gets deeper into the lungs of things that we've been holding on to, a lot of grief and sadness, right? And it's not to say that you're wrong. right? Because everybody does this. You go and you're like, well, I got all this sadness and this grief in my lungs, and I'm broken. What's wrong with me? And no, it's normal. It's normal. It's normal. Just like if you go down a dirt road, your car's gonna get some dirt on the road. It's normal. You know, you gotta clean your car off every so often. You know, once a week you take it to the car wash and you get it washed. You gotta vacuum your car. You know, you bring the dog along and they get dog hair, and your friend's kid, you know, drops a sucker on the floor, and you were in a rush in the morning and your coffee spilled on the seat. Like, you gotta vacuum the car out and clean the upholstery. Like, it's normal. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay, it's normal. And I promise, as bad as you think you can have it or be, somebody's always got it worse. Okay, I mean, it's a real thing. There's varying degrees. Okay, you could be the person with the worst, but it's kind of unlikely, in the sense of, like, you're always likely to find somebody that's got it worse, and it may not be the same thing as you, but you know, it's not a bad thing to go, hey, I'm thankful that I'm not, you know, worse than I am, right? In that sense, you're not bad, you're not wrong, you're not flawed. You know what I mean? To have like a something, it's part of nature, it's part of life. Like, pain and suffering is the one thing that's fair about this realm. And the thing is, like, I think people don't understand this is the pain and the hurt and the sadness and the suffering and the anger and the worry and the fear is the beauty in this world. You know how many things come out of that are just stunning? Like, look at art. A lot of art is made from someone's heavy emotions. So you're not broken because you have emotions. You're not broken because you feel things. Like, it's okay. It's normal. It's in fact, the more that you feel, the healthier you are. Because you're not shunting these. You're not stuffing and shunting, and you're feeling everything. Everything is alive and energized. When you're not alive, you don't feel. It's why people like to go and drink and eat foods that numb them out. Like, it's okay to feel like you're alive. That's why you feel. And if you don't like the way you're feeling, then you can do some qigong and alter that, or you can see if there's a behavior that's creating the pattern of why you're feeling, or you can see if there's a ruminating thought that's creating that. But it's not wrong to have a bad feeling or thought. Like, you're not broken. And it is advisable to seek out higher realms, higher feeling good, thinking good. And we all have days. It's normal. But do understand how important also caring for the physical body is. Hydrating, eating right, sleeping enough. And by the way, like, if you have a bad day of sleep, it doesn't make you bad, or, oh my God, something's wrong with me or whatever. If you have 3 days in a row, if you got 3 weeks in a row, maybe you should look into that and understand why you're not, sleeping. Do you have like, is there something going on that's, running your mind amok or running your emotions amok? Okay. But a one-time event is not wrong. It's not bad. It's a part of this world. It means you're alive. Okay. So if you got a pretty healthy sleep pattern and a pretty healthy diet and a pretty healthy relationship with your friends and your family, and you have a one-off, it's okay. It's all right. You can learn from it. If it's okay, it's okay. It's not wrong. A one-off every once in a while is just a part of life. So we're really divine beings. Like, we have this connection, and we're beautiful, radiant souls. This divine, radiant light. And the more that we lean into that and trust that, the healthier and the happier we are. The more we shine our light, the more we can help others. You know, the happier we are, the more regulated we are, the more we can help others. We can't make them be happy or healthy or anything like that. We can give them an example of what it looks like. If they ask, we can give them tips. You can tell them, hey, I drink X amount of water. And they're going to have to figure out how much water is appropriate for them. But maybe they didn't realize how valuable drinking water was. Maybe they're always drinking coffee and tea. So I want to sum all this up to say it's okay to have a problem. But what's really important is that we learn from that. We let it go after we understand what we needed to learn from it and how we grow from it. And then we need to take the action to grow from it. And that's how we become better. It's how we can strive to be connected and divine and live healthier, happier lives. You know, when you hit a certain level, you have to pull up other people. It's a responsibility at that point. You can never force anybody, but if they're willing, they're choosing, then it's your responsibility to help them. And it can start with the people right next to you. And if you're not comfortable with that, it can start with a random stranger. Just start. Just do nice things for people. When it's appropriate, of course. You will listen to your own intuition and judgment and know when that's appropriate and when you dial back and you don't. It's a gut choice. I was talking to somebody about hitchhiking, and they were just saying how, like, they wouldn't pick up a hitchhiker anymore, and, like, you know, when they were younger, they hitchhiked and they picked up hitchhikers, but they wouldn't do it now. And you know, there's a lot of reasons why, like, that's super valid, but sometimes your gut will tell you when you listen higher up. Your gut will tell you, hey, help that person. And it may not be hitchhiking, it might be something else. But like, a guy approached me at the gas station the other day and asked me for a ride to his car. It had run out of gas. And I was a little bit skeptical at first, but my gut said, do it. It's okay, help this person out. And so I did. I gave him a ride. It was like 3 blocks down the road. Like, not a big deal, but it was like one of the hottest days of the year. And he told me he asked the cop, and the cop told him no. And, like, well, he asked the cop to take him to get a gas can, and the cop wouldn't. And the cop was like, yeah, move your car. So he was kind of frustrated, you know. And, you know, he was really grateful when I took him to his car because it was so hot. It was really a really hot day. And he was just so grateful that I took him to his car. He thanked me so much, you know, told me his name. And he actually was on the way to go see his grandma. They were pulling the plug from her out of the hospital. And so I think he didn't pay attention. He ran out of gas, and, you know, he was a bit distraught. So rightfully so, like, you know, you would expect someone to be a little bit distraught when maybe their grandma's not doing so well, you know, if they have a good relationship with their grandmother. So we are all in this world together, and we're all connected. So the more that we can we can break up the division and the separation between people and make a connection, the further we can go, the more whole we can be, the more people we can help. The collective consciousness of society as a whole world can raise and evolve. We can be better than we are. Okay? So if you get an opportunity to help somebody and you feel it's appropriate, I highly encourage you to do it. I highly encourage you to act on that opportunity and just love on somebody, you know. So with that being said, it's a bit of a heartfelt message today, deep in my heart. So blessings and best wishes, enjoy, stay hydrated, love everybody around you. Until next time.